Here we go. Cruise Show, Real 92.3, LA's new home for hip hop. Mocafi, big partner, big sponsor when it comes to cruise care. So first off, thank you very much for that. And I know we appreciate it, and the city appreciates as well. Appreciates it as well. So it's a major partnership, man, and this is so cool. And not only do we get to give back, but we also get to educate as well, which I'm with as well. Financial literacy is what it's about, man. Honestly, and that's something I think we have to start teaching at a very young age. Not I started learning about my finances when I was an adult. Learning as a kid could have helped me out in a major way. Mocafi, talk to us, Wole, about the origin of your story and how the Angelino Collect is a model for Mocafi's growth and mission, please.
Absolutely. And again, great to be here. Great gratitude in terms of how we can impact the lives of folks in LA.
Yes, sir.
Because we're one family. We got to treat each other as such. So right. For me, I started this journey of how do you create a financial platform, a banking platform that can serve communities that have traditionally been left to check cashers and the payday lenders and the pawn shops and the like. Right. And I had my moment. We all have moments in life, and I had my moment after the murder of Michael Brown. I'd worked at big banks for a long time. And like all of us, was just watching television and seeing the pain and the anguish in that community, and folks were asking for social justice. And I thought, how can I be a part of that conversation? And thought about the idea that you can't have social justice if you don't have economic justice. And said, you know what, like, how do we bring those two together? And when you think about the fact that in our communities, 50 to 55% of us are in Black and brown communities are unbanked or underbanked. Only 25% of Black people, I think it's like 35% of Latinx folks have a credit score that's greater than 700. I was like, I got to be a part of that conversation. Like, how can I take my experience and training and help to move communities forward? So when we have a strong social plan with an economic plan, boom, now we can start creating wealth for our families and our communities. So I quit my job. I was one of the most senior people at JP Morgan. I quit and I went into my basement. I think of it as like what some of the rappers do. They just get into a room and just think about what they're going to do and create the next rhyme. I just sat in a room and thought about, how do I create a platform to help move communities, get banked, build credit, and then either buy homes or start businesses. And that's how Mocafi got started. But then we figured out, how do we work in such a way that we can reach a lot of people? And then we had the idea and said, you know what? If you're the mayor of a city, which is basically like the CEO of a community, right? You're responsible for making sure the trash is picked up, making sure that people are safe, making sure that there's transportation. You should have the same idea around financial services. You should have everyone should have access to basic banking services, not worried about getting ripped off, not worried about having their money taken away from them, not worried about being feed to death. And so last year, the opportunity came up where Mayor Garcetti said, you know what? I want to create contactless government. I want a way for people to receive money from the city efficiently, how they can pay bills from this to the city efficiently, and how they can get access to all the city services. And that was how Angelino Connect was born. And they said, who can help us do that? And we said, well, let me tell you how we can help you do that. We can help you do that because we've got a bank account, no fees. We've got an ability for people to use their local stores, whether it's a Speedway or whether it's a Walmart, whether it's a 7-Eleven. Those could be bank branches where people can make deposits. We don't check the check system if people are on that in terms of opening accounts. They've had a bad experience with the previous checking account and that was closed for whatever reason. We don't care about that. We're just going to open up an account. We can open up accounts for people who don't have an ITIN or a social security number. So if you've got your passport from another country or a driver's license from another country, we can open up an account for you. Wow. And so they all said, okay, got it. You can do all that, bet. And then we said, And if there sometimes you got to get monies to people because there might be emergency rental assistance, there might be beautification dollars that come to try you clean up a park, we want to pay you for that. We have another platform that just allows people to get the city to get dollars to people, and it's MasterCard branded. You can use it wherever you want to. We got free ATM network. So that was how this all came together in a nutshell. And then we figured out, well, it's not just enough to get people banked. It's not enough to help them build their credit, but how can we encourage people to spend money in the community? And how can we get people to support Black and brown small businesses? So we've created a whole program called Represent, and we're signing up small businesses in LA. And if you use the Angelino Connect product, you can get up to 3% back on all your purchases that you make at those stores. And so that is just like, so why do we have to just have dollars leaving our communities? That's, sometimes you can't get everything at a local store, but we really got to encourage ourselves to shop locally, and we created that Represent program. So we're just looking for ways to build our community, build ourselves, and in the process, to your point, Cruz, got to educate people. You can't. I hate to say it, but if you're starting to think about how to manage, it's never too late to learn, obviously, but to your point, you should learn in your teens or before then, not in your 20s and 30s, about how to manage your money, right? Because the thing about money, and this, it's about time. You just need time to invest and let those investments work. You need time to figure it out and put in the work so you can figure out how to survive when times get tough.
For real. That's exactly what it is. Seriously, man. Listen, where can people find information now? And if they want to get started now, how can they do so?
They can go to angelinoconnect.com, and they can find the information about it. They can go to wherever they get their apps and download the app, Angelino Connect, enroll. It just takes a couple minutes. And as soon as they're done, they'll get their account number and their routing number, so they can go to folks. Instead of going to check cash, they can give it to whomever, and they can have money put onto their account. And they can also get their 16-digit account number immediately and start spending while they're waiting for the plastic to show up, or they can put in their Apple Pay or Apple Wallet. So anyway, it's angelinoconnect.com. They can go check it out, and or they just go to wherever they get their apps and Google Pay or Google Store or Apple Pay.
Man, Mocafi doing major things. This is so cool, man. It's so great. And education, like you said, and like I was talking about, is extremely important, and learning about it at an early age doesn't help. I want to get my kids, I want to get my son, he's 4 now, but I want to teach him, to respect money now, because, as a kid, I wasn't necessarily taught that. Leche Garcia, I'm not sure how it was for you guys, but it was, it was rough. It was rough growing up, not knowing about money, and watching my parents, come into some money. If they came into $5, they were spending 10.
Right. And that's and one of the things is you learn over time. It took me a while to learn this. One of two things can happen. Either money can control you, or you can control your money.
Sure.
And if money controls you, man, that's stressful. But if you control your money, that means you got a plan. You may not have all the money that you need, but at least you got a plan, and you know what you got to do to make things work. So, we need to be the masters of our cash and not let the cash be our master.
Excellent. Let's talk about your credit score.
Well, I mean, listen, it's non-existent, but Mark is gonna make it happen. Okay,
it's fine.
No, man. Well, you can get your Mocafi account, and we can start, give you some ideas and some pointers and some tips. But one of the things that we really do is we take actually rent payments and report those to the credit bureaus. And you think about it, for many of us, that's our biggest monthly expense, and it's not even helping us build our credit. We changed the game on that.
Yo, that's dope.
Yeah, and I just got a new apartment. Might have to do that.
Yes, sir.
Give me my points. Give me
Yes,
my
sir.
points. 'Cause I'm spending, homie. I need 3% cash back on my credit score every month.
That is so true. We pay so much and it doesn't even go towards our credit. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it only happens when you have a problem. Then it shows up and it's a negative.
Yes,
But
sir.
if you, all those months paying over the years, that could be the difference. Because over time, because one day, let's say it's going to say, come over to my house, not my apartment, not what I'm renting, what I own. But how are you going to own that? You got to have a credit score that
That's
meets
it.
a certain criteria.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, Wale, we've been talking about this on the air since we learned about our partnership, Garcia. I mean, you know, we've been telling our audience, listen, it's Angelinos, man. You know what I'm saying? It's for us. It's for us.
100%. And that's what it's all about, right? Because Angelinos supporting Angelinos and figuring out, that's why I love this program, Represent, love talking to you and your squad, because we've got to take care of ourselves because no one's going to do it for us. And an Angelino, a Connect account represents just that. Angelinos, for Angelinos, by Angelinos, supporting Angelinos. And we're going to look up and we're going to say, you know what? We're stronger as a community together because we were able to support our businesses, build our credit scores, buy homes, get credit cards, whatever, that are responsible, not ones that are keeping us in a bind, because we got to get out of a bind.
Absolutely. Yes, we do.
Yeah, I think we've seen that, you know, during the pandemic, right? We saw, you know, the big corporations really benefit from a lot of shutdowns and a lot of people being locked in. And we saw people like ourselves, you know, the people in our community, the Angelinos, struggle because, you know, a lot of the places, like you said, whether it be in our neighborhood or the places that we frequent, or perhaps we lost jobs, and then that resulted in tougher money management. And I think your point that you made really earlier was really strong, because why continue to feed the beast when we can continue to feed ourselves, you know, and our communities? And I think that's so important, because the people that got rich were the ones that are already rich. You know what I mean? And I think that, like, right now we have a very big moment in time, and we're seeing it with people quitting their jobs and, you know, the great resignation and all those things where we could take control of what's happening. Sorry for hitting the mic. We could take control of what's happening. And this is another pivotal way of doing that, because taking care of it financially in our communities is step number one, because that allows us freedom. You know what I mean?
100%.
100%. I agree with that 100%. And if we don't take these moments, we don't get these moments all the time.
Exactly.
But when we do, we got to take advantage of it.
Yeah,
man, that's one thing we gotta convey. I think Let's just taking advantage of it right now. What are you doing?
He's got the app. He's got the app. Hey.
Yes, sir.
Love that. Yes,
No,
sir.
I mean, listen, when you said I'm paying rent every month and it's not showing up on my credit score,
I mean, we know it, but to hear it is different, man.
oh, what? and Mocafi, I'm able to do that?
Mocafi, the Angelino Connect,
Chales.
absolutely, man.
And then you mentioned too about the identification and passports and people working here with visas and different types of people that live in the city. I think this is a great city to start with, you know, because there is such a diverse community, and people, this is such a transient city in a way, you know, because there's so many people coming around from the country, from the world, that once they get here and they soak up this city, they say, this is my home, you know, now. And this is a perfect way to tap into your home and affect your home directly. Like you said, just a small business angle. I was on your website and I'm like, it's just so important, because that's how we get back to communities as well, you know, and the mom and pop restaurants and the bookstores and the toy stores and the record shops and all those things that are important. Like that's how we really continue to build our communities back. And it's 10 times more important that we spend money there, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And you know, we don't keep our dollars in our community long enough. And we hope this is a way that helps that. And because when you do that, then you get the multiplying effect, right? You know, that the money you spend allows them to pay somebody who then is able to spend their money in the community in a way, around it goes. That's how. And the thing about it is, it's not a zero-sum game. It's not like doing that hurts somebody else. It actually helps all boats rise. And that's the part that makes I'm so excited about.
Oh man, so are we, man. You know, let's buy the block, man. Word to Nick.
Let's do it.
Hey,
Let's do it. Start with the block, and who knows where we'll stop.
Come on, man. It's endless. It's endless, man. And listen, I know that you, Mocafi, you guys are making a major contribution for Cruise Cares as well, which is greatly appreciated by ourselves and our team here at Real 92.3 and the Cruise Show and all the boys and girls of the Boys and Girls Club. So we thank you very much for that.
Oh, it's our pleasure. We couldn't think of a more important cause at a more important time than to be partnered with you in this way. So we're like I started, we have nothing but gratitude and appreciation for what you're doing, and glad to partner with you in the group this way.
Oh, we thank you very much. Black and brown, let's win.
All day.
All day, bro. Thank you so much.
Right.
Sir. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thanks for your time.